Hello, once again, to another video of me using a map of the globe to determine where random sequels in video games should be set. Um, Not really a prediction; it's just more of a where I think the vibe shift is going on these series. These are more experiments, more than anything. Not even like a real sort of like hot take I had or heat check, just more like I did a video on Fallout because I wanted to and it did really well, and now I'm just going to keep trying these and seeing what sticks. Either it's Fallout content or it's these map related videos. As you well know, if you've seen the headline, the title of this video, it's about Far Cry. And so frequently I will see people, where's Far Cry 7? There were a bunch of leaks for Far Cry 7. We know so much about Far Cry 7. Where is it? And then there were like big news that Ubisoft had delayed a bunch of games internally. I know it's out there. I've seen leaked screenshots. I will not be showing them to you, however. For a while, there were rumors it was going to be set in New England, and then there was a lot of plot details about like a family. It was very much like the TV show Succession. Um, Apparently now it's like in Alaska. I don't know. I don't know what to really make of the leaks or whatever. I guess I'll take them at face value. So that would basically cover this. Far Cry 1 was in an archipelago somewhere around Micronesia. I'm assuming is around here. Maybe it's here. Anyways, fictional location. Far Cry 2 was Central Africa. Again, fictional. All these the actual countries in these games are all fictional. Um, 3 was Indonesia or Malaysia. 4 was in the Himalayas. 5 was in Montana. 6 was Cuba. And again, rumored 7 is Alaska. Which I feel like it's a little too close to where 5 was set. But, you know, I guess I don't get to decide that your game is about an American conspiracy theorist nut job with a bunch of guns. I mean, I guess it's probably the best place on earth to set those games, but usually it's the change in temperature and geology and using sort of like local customs and traditions and outfits and accents and weaponry. This sort of influences the story and influences the gameplay. But let's go over some places I was thinking about. The first instinct I had was to pick a volcano, just because like we'd seen sort of like more deserty and cold snow and more forest and then island. Again, like where's there like an active volcano? But I couldn't quite figure that out. So like maybe not Iceland. I don't know. You could do like a whole thing about Greenland, but I don't think there's any active volcanoes there. I mean, maybe Hawaii, but that also feels too much like the previous games. All right, let's move on. My first there we go. Instinct. Take that again. Uh, the Swiss Alps, the Italian Alps, either side. So yeah, there are snowy mountains, which is reminiscent of 4, but you get so much more green. I feel like you would get more like tourism. You get more like transportation methods. You get different animals. You can get it. Oh, I already clicked on that image. You would get just like a different kind of feel to the Himalayas. Definitely more water because it's not as frozen. I feel like Italy or Switzerland would be like a really cool location, especially since I feel like there's World War II games that are set in Italy, and this would not be that. It would be a completely sort of separate thing. It plays like a one of these red jacket wearing people who helps others in the snow, or maybe you're someone I don't know touristing and checking out Lake Como or something, and you're just like they're on vacation, and then all hell breaks loose, and then God, this would be gory. Yeah, some cows. Look at this. This is like a Bob Ross painting. So that was my first instinct. Then I thought, what if you were to piggyback off of Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, and you would do a Ukraine Russia thing, not necessarily inspired by today's events, just like this sort of Eastern Bloc of like, you know, warfare and the Cold War, and this image definitely stuck in my mind. I was like, well, how can I pair this with this? Because some of the stuff is just gorgeous. You know, you get an old lady, you get some goats, you get some cows. Um, this definitely feels like a place Call of Duty has been to, but Far Cry? This screams Far Cry to me. I don't know about you guys. Go fishing. Some people yell at you in Russian. You can do a whole Chernobyl thing where there's like creepy monsters, which I guess is like Metro and Stalker, but I don't want to say Far Cry is more whimsical, but it definitely could, you know, it's a little more beautiful because it's not post-apocalyptic. That's the thing. Far Cry is very far away from that unless you are getting into that 5 spin-off. Then I thought it has to be done. It's got to be done. You got to have the Australian outback. How can you not have a Far Cry game set here? And you do the fire procedural fire generation from 2. You get all the fun Australian animals, crazy geezers with big machetes and hatchets, hunting, and then you could just straight up, like, if you don't want to set it in the outback, you could, like, okay, let's go to the big city, let's go to Bondi Beach. Lots of cool architecture. I feel like this is a slam dunk as long as you make it feel a lot different than Death Stranding 2, which is also set in Australia, but that again is like half of the game kind of just looks like Iceland, where it was like Kojima like clearly just wants a certain aesthetic and he doesn't really care where he sets his games. Next instinct was to do a North Korea, South Korea DMZ. I feel like a lot of these games are about not just wars that have happened, but about like how countries can fall or governments can rise or revolutions. And I feel like a game could be set in a fictional Asian country that has sort of been divided, and there's like a parts of the map that are more like higher level late game, you know, tough to get into. That could be very cool. Again, if Ubisoft could do it properly, do I have faith that they can? No, absolutely not. But this could be a nice aesthetic that most games don't really touch upon, because usually if you're going to be in Asia, you're going to be in Tokyo. You know, like that sort of like neon Tokyo cyberpunk future aesthetic, like that's very common, but like not this like poor rural. I mean, like I want to know more like what North Korea really looks like. That could be cool. Then I thought, well, if we're gonna rip off Call of Duty, why not just go for the favelas in Brazil? You could do a fictional South American country. You could do the Andes. You could do Chile, Argentina, or you can maybe not like the jungles of Brazil, because that has sort of been done to death. The sort of forest island jungle setting. But as a location, I feel like you could definitely do like a big mountain that just kind of has a different flavor to it. That could be one way to go. God, what a great map this was. Modern Warfare 2. How about Dubai? How about a Middle Eastern country that fuses middle of nowhere desert, you know, like survival kind of, but like also you get like a lot of money, futuristic city. Hey, pay no attention to all the oil and bad business that we're doing. I feel like that could be very cool to set a Far Cry game in. Look at this. Look at this big egg. They've already got fast as shit trains too. Look at this. This looks like Vice City. Oh my god. This is unbelievable what they've been able to terraform this into. Oh, kill some rich people. Some poor people rise up, and you go from the desert and then you invade this. Oh my god. I mean, incredible. And I thought, well, revolutionaries, why not the IRA? Why not a battle between... God, this is insane if a Far Cry game were to be set here. Like, not Banshees of Inisherin, sheep herders, but like you get some fighting the Empire, good guys, bad guys. Plus you get all this. That could be fascinating. Oh my god. I should start my own development team and just start making Far Cry ripoffs and set them in really cool places and crank them out faster than Ubisoft again because they are very incompetent and are on the verge of bankruptcy in 8 different ways. God, this would be so sick. Yeah, maybe you throw in some seafaring, you throw in some like uh fisherman dock port kind of vibes, big boots and yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Then I thought, what about Northern Africa, Morocco, Algiers, Battle of Algiers, the French government trying to invade. This could be a brilliant game. Not even just Far Cry, but there's definitely stuff to mine here from real life and this movie, which is brilliant. One of my all-time faves. I feel like a game could be set in Algiers. And then 2 more for the road. Some wacky thoughts. Outer space. Give me a Far Cry game in outer space. Not like Blood Dragon, but like, hey, each big open map is a different planet, and you gotta go into a moon base and reveal the fog of war on the map, and jetpack away and do some fun Far Cry nonsense. You fight robots. Why not? That seems silly. That seems like a fun way. Hell, you can even do a volcano on a different planet. Cool laser guns, cool lava guns, plasma guns. That'd be neat. You don't have to make up a fictional country or piss anyone off. You can just make your own story. Um, and then what about underground? What about underground? And there are different factions of people like Mole Man trying to rise up to the surface. Actually, this is probably a better idea for a Bioshock video. But those are my thoughts on where the next Far Cry game could be set. As I've already mentioned, I believe 7 is going to be in Alaska. But let me know where you think the next Far Cry game should be set. I guess 8? Or if they spin off 7 or whatever. Maybe they could do a spin-off of when 7 comes out within the next 8 years. They do a spin-off, and it's like the connecting tissue of Russia and Alaska. Like you do that, like that area of the Pacific crossing into the Atlantic. That could be cool. So there you go. Wait, what am I talking about? The Atlantic Ocean's on the East Coast, so it would be all Pacific. Well, I should not be recording these late at night. Thank you for watching. And we'll see you next time. Maybe I'll start doing Bioshock videos. That'd be cool.